Hi, my name is Erin Grohusky, and I'm going to be responding to the second question of this week's module, which is, what are the two tools that I liked the best and how will I use them in my classroom? The first tool I'll be talking about is iMovie, and the second tool I'll be talking about is Adobe Spark Page. I really like iMovie because it gives me a chance to engage students in an aspect of a subject that they might find boring. Classical music can actually be really interesting once a student's attention has been focused, but it's hard to get that attention in the first place. With the trailer aspect of iMovie, I can really hone in the attention of my students and engage them on any aspect of classical music. So you can choose a template that already exists so that you have a really simple time filling in your own pictures and your own information. But you have to keep in mind that everything should be brief because the video is only a minute long. I know that I could really use this for any composer, not just Mozart, which is what I did here. I could use it for any composer or a stylistic choice and really grasp the attention of the students to make them want to learn more. So the very top words, I actually didn't change them. It started as Once Upon a Time in the template. However, you can click on them and change them to whatever you want. Sometimes the template fits your story really well and you don't have to change as much. You can also edit the Ken Burns animation, which is like a zooming effect. It's really for a picture that would be stagnant, but you can make it more interesting by zooming in on it. I personally used it a lot because I think it's fun, but if you don't want to use it, there are options. I think that using the Ken Burns effect can really help something seem more like a movie trailer, which of course grabs the student's attention. iMovie also gives suggestions on what type of photo or video you should upload into that particular place on the template. So it will give you a suggestion such as wide or medium or a close-up, and then you can follow that to make it easier to have a really, really professional looking trailer. I think the more professional something looks, the more the students are going to be interested in it because it seems like it's a big deal. And of course, these trailers are only a minute long, so it's not like these students are going to be sitting staring at a screen watching it for a long time. It's only a minute. Its purpose is to give a little background information and to really grab their attention so you can go into detail with the class. So I really think that iMovie, especially the trailer aspect, is very effective in the classroom, especially music, because like I said, students can just not really be interested and just assume it's nerdy or boring, but it's not. You just have to get their attention before you can really make them interested and keep them interested, because it is not boring. Quite the opposite, actually. Adobe Spark Page gives you a chance to put an entire lesson online for your students to use. If they miss class one day, they can go and look at the Spark Page, or if they need a resource outside of class to check on things, they can go to the Spark Page. Another thing that students can do is refer back to the lesson with links, so that if they're researching something, they can use links and cite sources from the lesson itself. I think that this is really effective for anything that requires a really lengthy lesson that doesn't really involve a lot of singing in class. I really think that grabbing the attention of students is very important. So the very first aspect that I have in this lesson, which is about Baroque music, I put one of the most famous Baroque songs, the Hallelujah Chorus. I put that as a video because students will hear it and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I know that. And it will really take their attention because they already know something, and then they can grow off of what they already know. I also really like that you can caption every single photo that you put onto your Adobe Spark page. So if you don't want to have an entire paragraph dedicated to this one photo, you can just put a few words underneath to give some background. So here I put that this is original Baroque sheet music, so that means it is 200, 300 years old. And students might be really interested in seeing something like that, but I didn't need to dedicate an entire paragraph. Of course, some videos that I included in this lesson are less of something that they need to be watching and more of a resource. So I actually put a video for like the entirety of the opera Dido and Aeneas. I don't need the students to watch that entire video, but if they're curious as to what Baroque opera sounds like, they can scroll through, listen to a few arias, and then they can gain a deeper understanding of what Baroque opera sounds like, which is a lot different from Romantic opera. Of course, they don't need to watch this whole video because it's very long, but it's just another resource that they can use. I think using the Adobe Spark Page tool will be very helpful in the rare cases that I need to spend all class period giving a lesson without having students perform or sing. And that's not going to happen all the time, but sometimes it is. And this will give them a resource to turn back to when they have questions in the future, and just make them more confident because they can turn to this resource and they can have tools to help them. I think this would be very helpful for any music theory and for introductions to time periods or composers as well.